You're listening to the Lawyer Lifestyle Podcast with Chicago attorney Dave Scriven-Young. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor, which is the app that I use to record and edit the Lawyer Lifestyle Podcast. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast, so let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so that it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 210 of the Lawyer Lifestyle Podcast for May 27th, 2020. My name is Dave Scriven-Young, an attorney from Chicago, Illinois, and I'll be your host. This podcast takes you on a daily journey to discover key principles in the areas of marketing, sales, and leadership for attorneys. So we're talking about how best to communicate with others, and as a leader, what is the best communication style? John C. Maxwell in his book Leadershift talks about making the shift from directing somebody to connecting with somebody. And the first way to be able to do that is, of course, having humility. And I think that takes two separate things. Number one is that you're humble. So in other words, that you are not an arrogant person towards others, but it's the opposite of arrogant. It's somebody who may be getting all of the accolades, all of the honors. You may be extremely successful in your life, but you're somebody who's not going to throw that in somebody's face. And John C. Maxwell talks about Coach John Wooden, who was a great connector because he was humble. And there was an article by Michael Josephson, Josephson, who basically had an article about John Wooden. And what that article says is that he received many awards and accolades than any of his peers. And yet he was genuinely humble. I had to insist that he call me by his first name, so he'd stop calling me Mr. He talks about issues of honor, hard work, preparation, and self-discipline as if there were no other choices. And so it's somebody who is a great example, but not only talks the talk, but walks the walk, and does not throw in everybody else's face. Hey, I'm the best. Hey, I won all of these awards. And what he does is coach. He's not preoccupied with himself, and he's focused on helping others, not himself. And that is what the core of true humility is. The second part of being humble is that you have to understand that in order to succeed, you need others to help you. You can't do it all on your own because everyone has their own weaknesses. Everybody has things that they can improve on. And in order to get where you need to go, you need others to help you. Not only to fill in weaknesses that you might have, but also to give you opportunities, to give you a helping hand, because it's very difficult to do it on your own. And it's better to ask for others. It's better to have mentors. It's better to have a team around you that can support you, because you can go much further building a team, having people around you that can, as we've been saying all along, extending that ladder, holding that ladder for you so you can climb on it and get to the next level. And so great leaders are aware that they need other people, and they let other people know that. So they're going to let their team members know, hey, I really need your help with this. I couldn't do it without you. That's somebody who is humble. That's somebody who's showing true humility. And so, one thing that I've been thinking about in terms of the show and the way that I've been and can be in my life is to reach out to others who can share their perspectives on these topics. So what I would like to hear from you for your daily action item is to reach out to me and let me know who you would like to hear on this podcast in terms of marketing, sales, and leadership. So who are the leaders? Who are the marketers? Who are the sales professionals that you would like to hear about? They don't necessarily have to be in the legal space. They can be from, all walks of life, and I can try to get them on this podcast so you can hear from them. If you're a leader, if you're somebody who is a leader that wants to get their voice heard, reach out to me as well. Would love to put your voice on this podcast as well. So I guess what I'm saying is I need your help to make this a better space, not to increase my popularity, not to increase the scope of the show, but just to make the content better. Because yes, I can provide my 2 cents on these topics, but I can't do it. I can't do it without you. I can't make this a diverse space that has many different voices if you're just hearing my voice. So reach out to me. Join me in this discussion. You can do that in a couple of different ways. First, you can leave me a voicemail by going to anchor.fm/attorneydsy and hitting that message button. You can leave me a comment for me to play on the show or a question for me to answer, but also do your daily action item and let me know who you want to hear on this podcast, what voices you want to hear. Maybe it's your own, maybe it's somebody else, but let me know. The other thing you can do is you can leave me a comment on social media. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at AttorneyDSY. I'm also on LinkedIn on my personal profile. So let me know, who do you want to hear? Reach out to me. You can just send me a name either directly through a direct message, or you can send it as a regular post or a comment where you're sending it directly to me. So you can do that. As you know, this podcast is on all the distribution platforms, so it would really help to subscribe and rate and review. But more importantly for me, help me to improve this content by telling me who you'd like to hear about on this podcast. So I also want to invite you to the next session of the Lawyers Emotional Intelligence Book Club, and that's going to be tonight. We're going to be continuing with Dr. Chatterjee's book, The Stress Solution. Tonight at 7 p.m. Central. You can find out more at facebook.com/lawyersEQ. I tend to go live on a couple of different platforms, Facebook obviously. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, where you get sort of a behind-the-scenes view of what happens when I go live, and then also YouTube. Usually I'm on there as well, but I invite you to join in that discussion as well, because if I'm just talking to myself, it's not as interesting as when other voices join as well and comment. So join me tonight, 7 p.m. Central, typically on the platforms that I suggested, but you can find out more about it generally, facebook.com/lawyersEQ. Have a great day or night, and remember to fight for the lifestyle that you want and become the rainmaker that you need to be.